Good evening. Welcome to the October 9th Board of Aldermen meeting. I now call this meeting to order. I'll ask everyone to rise and join in the pledge of
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I would ask the city clerk to call roll for attendance.
Alderman Allen. Here. Alderman Eden. Here. Alderman Francisco. Here. Alderman Hughes. Here. Alderman Kinsella.
Here.
Alderman Murphy.
Here.
Alderman Schwer.
Here.
And Alderman Weesahan.
Here.
Mayor Ring is presiding and we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Before we get on to the minutes, I do want to just comment briefly that I thought the Fire and Ice program on Saturday night was just really outstanding, a wonderful event, a great choice of a band, a lot of food trucks, a lot of sponsors. I really do want to thank the sponsors for being there and being part of our event. Also thank the volunteers. I just thought it was, I'm sure if anybody in this audience was at that event, they would agree that it was a wonderful event, a nice fireworks show, frankly. Very nice. So I thought, well done by Parks and Recreation and their sponsors and volunteers. The minutes from the September 25th meeting, I seek a motion and a second to approve.
So moved.
Any discussion or amendment? Alderman Hughes.
I'm going to abstain, Mayor, from the minutes, as I was not in attendance.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries and the minutes are approved. Thanks. At this point, we'll go to hearings from citizens, and I have several. So I would, as in most cities, would ask that each speaker keep their comments to 3 minutes, and after stating their name and address to for the record. And the person currently recognized direct your comments to myself and to the board, and I appreciate that. And so we will start. And I upfront apologize, I will probably mispronounce some names. First person is Pete, is it Eckerbrecht?
Yes.
Certainly, come forward, thank you, Mr. Eckerbrecht. Did I pronounce that right?
Pretty close.
Okay,
It's Nickelback.
okay, well, welcome.
My lovely wife has lived here for 51 years. I've been here for 46 years.
Long time.
We've had a lot of experience with living in town and country, and I just wanted to thank all the people who put on the party Saturday night. It was terrific. Great to see our neighbors. We met some people that are our neighbors. Fred said live near you. He's a pediatric surgeon, and they have a real cute little dog that came up to greet us, so we made friends with them. And thoroughly enjoyable night, and really reinforced camaraderie around town and country. So thanks to everyone who had a part in putting this together.
You know, I will tell you, not just the park staff, but the entire city staff, appreciate your taking the time to come up and make those comments. And I don't say it often enough, but our city staff is small, but they're mighty. Many of the audits we've done, we've been told by the auditors, you're one of the few cities that isn't bloated, that you actually ought to have a couple more employees. And so my hats off to our staff, everybody from the city manager right on down. We have really excellent people, and frankly, One of the nicest things about being mayor, in addition to getting to know citizens and the other board members, is getting to know our city staff. They're basically an inspiration. So thank you for taking the time to come up and make those comments. Next is Laurie Licaboli.
Oh, that's really close. It's a little there.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's Lori LaCavoli,
Thank you.
6036 Masonville Road, and I've lived here less than 2 years. I'm a transplant here from Sunset Hills. Lots of good stories, ask me later. But one of the really neat things I love about my new neighborhood, everyone has been so wonderful, meeting some really great people. And one of the things that my husband and I have really come to enjoy has been the 2 restaurants that are up at Blacksmith Grove. Both Cleaver Cocktail, and we really enjoy Wild Crisis. It's been so nice because they're in such close proximity to our house. It just makes for a really great date night. We really love the outdoor dining. It's just been really nice to have that so close. So with that said, I just wanted to say I'm here in support of giving them whatever they need as far as additional outdoor seating, whatever they need to keep this business successful, keeping our area vibrant, because we know that if they succeed, we all succeed, because that supports our city. So anyways, just want to say I'm just here in support of that, because I think they're just lovely, and my dog loves the patio. I mean, it's really nice to find a dog-friendly patio outside. It's just lovely, and anybody wants to meet me there, we can go. And I just want to say that I do appreciate that they're not in my backyard, and others do have to deal with what we don't have to deal with. So I just want to say I appreciate that. But we do love that they're very close, and again, they're just lovely. If you haven't been, you should go. Thank you.
Thank you for taking time to come up. Or is it Larry Shores or Shorzy?
Lori.
I'm sorry, yeah, thank you, come on.
I'm Lori Shorzy from 1177 Clay Place Drive, and I've been here about 30 years. I want to thank you for the 3 minutes to voice my approval for the addition of Starbucks at Ballas and Clayton. I feel like Starbucks is the optimum solution for that neglected lot. It's a highly visible eyesore in our beautiful town and country. I feel like Starbucks is a business that's socially and environmentally conscious. And they are a proven business, and once they're there, they're not likely to just go out of business in a year and leave us with an empty building and a lot issue again. They have experience and financial resources to develop the lot and experience the traffic flow. I understand that there are a lot of concerns about potential traffic issues, but I firmly believe the benefits far outweigh the challenges. Starbucks will bring in additional tax revenue. Since I've been here, it seems in the last couple of years, Town and Country, due to budget, has cut services that I use, like branch chipping, the beautification grants. And I know last year you actually had a vote to see if you were going to levy property tax, which the whole time I've lived here was something everyone was always very proud of. And Town and Country was known for one of the areas that did not have that tax. Starbucks will create employment opportunities. They foster a sense of community. And economically, the presence of Starbucks can boost the other local businesses as well. It's natural to worry about congestion. I've done research on Starbucks, and they have a proven track record of working with the communities to address the issue. They implement drive-through systems that are designed to efficiently manage the traffic flow. In conclusion, Starbucks in our community has the potential to bring around numerous benefits: tax revenue, beautification of an eyesore lot, job opportunities, community building, and economic growth. They are a responsible corporation that is willing to collaborate and find solutions. Please let's embrace this opportunity.
Thanks for your comments. Mr. William Frederick.
Need my address and name and everything, or is that?
If you could give, I think we got William Frederick, but if you give the address, that'd be great.
13324 Kings Glen.
All right, thanks. Go right ahead.
Okay, a little history. We built our house about 46, 47 years ago in Kings Glen. At that time, we looked up the hill from our front door and we saw a meadow and trees and the Worth gas station. And then over to the right was our house, and the right side of the lot. And that was there for a number of years, and then finally when the station was closed and the Wirth family had to leave, the lot went up for sale, and a builder was gonna put some houses in there. But somehow the previous mayor and the council decided that they wanted a town center, and I'm not sure exactly what that is. But at first, it was gonna be a stopping off point for walkers and bicyclists going along Clayton Road with a couple picnic tables, and nothing else was gonna happen. Well, the project keeps escalating. Now we're into a full-blown commercial facility there. It's noisy, there's congestion, there's lights. When I look out of the front of my house, it's just looking up, I might as well be living in downtown Clayton. And this was not what the city promised us. They promised us that that was gonna be a very low-key place up there, and there wasn't gonna be anything but a stop off for daytime people, not a commercial area. And then the requests for zoning changes keep changing every time they get bigger, and more of this, more of that, to make it more commercial. And I think we were totally misrepresented to us by the city, and I think the city should draw the line and say, no more expansion of activities up there, period. That's my view. Thank you.
Thank you for coming up and giving us your opinion, appreciate it. Mark Dunn.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I live at 12302 Crystal View Lane, and I also have a business at Dunn and Miller up on North I-40. I'm one of the co-trustees of Crystal View Lane, but I'm primarily here for myself. And just want to suggest before this hearing starts that everybody maybe take a deep breath with this proposal and really take a thorough look. It feels like things are being rushed pretty quickly for some reason, and I just want to make sure everybody takes a deep breath and really gets a good handle on the traffic and maybe the danger of this left turn only going into Starbucks. So I asked at the planning and zoning meeting, when was the first time Starbucks contacted the developer? The developer contacted the city just to know when this all got started. So maybe tonight the developer could let us know when they first came up with the idea of a Starbucks to Town and Country, not when the application was filed, but when did this all get started? And then at the planning and zoning, they indicated that they've been working with the citizens, and I'd like them to explain what they meant by that. Because we didn't know, on our street, we didn't know about it. We heard about it when Ben was coming door to door talking about the sidewalk. But primarily, I think the city and the county and MoDOT, whoever, really needs to finish a complete analysis of this proposal. And in this rare instance, you have a developer actually limiting the number of entrances so they can stack more cars. They said that planning and zoning, instead of having an entrance off Dallas, they're limited it to Clayton, so they can stack 15 to 20 cars. And that's a profit motivation, and they're threatening everyone's safety. So maybe one day between on 5 o'clock, if you guys could go up there one at a time and park in the Lauren McCarthy lot, watch cars going westbound on Clayton. They want to go south on the Ballots. They cross, I did that a while back, and they cross into the suicide lane before the turning lane to go left. And that's exactly where these 20 cars, at the time, will be going left into Ballots. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It would be a crazy, insane thing to do, to have 2 lanes of traffic coming head on one another. So it's 2 issues. Is there Starbucks there? Is it over intense use of the property, given the odd size and shape? That's one issue. We'll save that for the meeting where people can speak it to the Board of Aldermen. And then I want to make sure tonight suggest that this be tabled until everyone, all the aldermen in the county and MoDOT have a chance to finish analyzing the traffic study, analyzing the flow of traffic and the safety, because given the fact that 2 lanes of traffic are becoming head on, it seems to be creating a hazard.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you for taking time to come up and express them. Jenny Donovan.
May I speak when the issue comes to the floor?
I think we're taking them all here at this point unless there's really an objection to that, but it's up to you, Mayor.
But whatever you want.
I think it's very relevant in the minds of all the members of the board. I think it'd be okay to speak now, and I think they understand that. So I think we gotta just go ahead, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Thank you.
my name is Jenny Donovan. I live at 13309 Kings Glen Drive. I'm here once again to ask you to vote no on the proposed CUP that would allow additional seats for outdoor dining and for amplified music until 10 and 9 o'clock p.m. on 6 nights a week at Blacksmith Road. I'm struggling to understand why any of this makes sense when we all know it's a bad idea. For example, Wild Crush currently has a CUP that allows for it's either 24 or 28 seats on the patio and outdoor speakers that have a set volume control. If we can hear conversations from that patio now, what might it be like when this number of seats is doubled? And since the proposal increases the number of chairs on the patio, does that mean there will be an unlimited number of people standing around, hanging out, and contributing to the increased noise? And where are all those people gonna park? Isn't the number of parking spaces at Blacksmith Road already maxed out based on the occupancy restrictions for the restaurants? And isn't there something in the city code that says outdoor dining has to be directly adjacent to the restaurant building? There isn't enough space for Wild Crush to do that immediately behind their building part. And what about the lights? Doesn't city code require them to be downcast? The string lights are not. For 2 weeks following the public hearing on September 11th, Wild Crush was amazingly quiet. It was really nice. Almost no one was on the patio. Is it a coincidence that this quiet period was the same week that the police department did random sound level measurements in our neighborhood? I think not. And you must disregard those measurements because they do not reflect the reality we as residents have experienced. Now the issue of amplified music. No way, no. It's simply ridiculous given what we already tolerate. Without a thorough and professional assessment of the acoustic impact on nearby neighborhoods, passage of this bill is totally reckless. It's not in keeping with the residential nature of the area. It's not in keeping with the original vision for this space. And I'm guessing it's not in keeping with more than one city code or ordinance. I was actually surprised to substitute bill on tonight's agenda. Apparently, someone thinks this compromise is okay, but there's really no reason to even have this before you. Having this conversation is a mockery of the work of the original task force to challenge of integrating commercial development into the midst of a residential community. There is no compromise tonight. The compromise was worked out by the task force before the first shovel of dirt was turned on this property, and that has to be respected. Members of this board, you must vote no on this CUP, or you will totally destroy the peace and quiet town and country residents expect. Thank you.
Thank you. Coming up. Mr. Stuart Beard.
Good evening, my name is Stuart Beard. I live at 13366 Kings Glen Drive. You'll be surprised to hear that I'm here tonight to speak in opposition of the proposed amendment to the Cup for Blacksmith Road. I believe a legal review of the proposed CUP is warranted. Specifically, the CUP should be reviewed for compliance with city ordinance, section 405.687, standards for outside paragraphs B2, F2B, G4, H2B and D, and section L, as well as parking regulations for the expanded square footage on the patio. Additionally, there seems to be a notion that we as citizens are not willing to compromise on this issue. That's simply not true. As citizens, compromise at the beginning of all this through the Town Square Task Force, which has already been mentioned tonight. That body came to a compromise and a balance that everyone was aware of and accepted. Frankly, Many of us were not excited about some of the recommendations that were made by the task force. But we did compromise and we accepted those results. Those results were documented and still reside on the Town and Country website today. The businesses involved today were or should have been aware of those limitations before building a building or signing a lease. The existing code already tips the scales further away from the character of our homes. When we bought our home, most of that land was zoned as residential. The city's strategic plan had it saying that way. Then it was gonna be a park. Then it was gonna be a park with residential, or with retail. Then it was gonna be a park with retail and a restaurant. And then a bar moved in. Then the limits for the outdoor dining were raised. How much more compromise should be expected of us? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ellen Campos? Did I pronounce that right?
You did.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Ellen Campos. I live at 3 Country Air Drive, very close to the planned development site for the Starbucks. I'm here today to voice my support for the project. I work downtown and stop at the Hampton Starbucks drive-thru very often. And in my experience, they've been able to manage traffic effectively, even at busy times. It's nice to see the people in the South City community enjoy their morning coffee, and I would love to be able to do that in our community and closer to home. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. And the last one I have is Rico Salmon. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Good evening. So I live at 13321 Kingsland Drive. I'm going to be really brief. I echo the commentary from my neighbors. The development use of the property must, at the minimum, not diminish the quality of life of adjoining residential property. Why are we here? Why are all these people here? That's all I have to say.
I appreciate everybody who came up and spoke. I do not have any other speaker sheets, but I just want to say, is there anybody else who wants to give an opinion? Thank you. And moving on to some appointments, I now seek the board's support to reappoint the noted directors for the Greenwood Subdivision CID. That's Mark Johnson, Shane Johnston, Todd Solomon, and Amanda Miller. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion of that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you. At this point, I would recognize the board's opportunity to provide any reports from the commission. Alderman Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. A report on the Parks and Trails. Thank you earlier for your comments. It was great to see so many of you at the Fall Fire and Ice event on Saturday, October 7th. We had some new activities, including a raffle featuring donations from town and country businesses. That was wonderful. Thank you to the businesses. All proceeds from that raffle are being applied to the Parks and Trails funds to help offset the cost of the event. We'll pull together a final report over the next few days. Drace Park will be closed October 12th for an asphalt treatment of the parking lot and trails. The intent is to have that open again the next day, pending weather. We'll also be sharing more information in the next few days on our turkey trot, Thanksgiving Day, November 23rd, coming up shortly. We did receive sponsorship for the event, and thank you to Get Centered Counseling for doing that. Our next commission meeting will be held on Monday, October 30th, 6:30 at Longview. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? I will ask the city administrator to give a report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just very briefly, as the board knows, and just for anybody in the audience or watching, thanks to Mr. Spencer and our Public Works Department, the city was successful in obtaining grant funding for the Topping Road Sidewalk Phase 2. So we will receive, fortunately, as long as it all goes through from East West Gateway, 50% of the cost of that extension of that sidewalk. So fantastic news, and appreciate the staff's great work.
Grant writing is not that easy, and it's very competitive, very competitive. And there's another win, Joyce Park was a huge win.
Yep.
I think that Joyce Park, I think it was 80%.
Correct.
All right, and you're otherwise good?
Otherwise, good.
Unfinished business, bill number 23-41, sponsored by Aldermen Eden and Weezan. Without objection, will the city clerk read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2341 is an ordinance approving a conditional use and authorizing a conditional use permit for outside dining for the development known as Blacksmith Road, located at 13360 Clayton Road in the city of Town and Country. And Mayor, before you move on, I will be entering one email in opposition from Steve and Terry Winterman at 13370 Crossland Drive, dated today's date. It was previously distributed to the Board of Aldermen by the Wintermans. That will be attached to the minutes per their request.
Thank you very much. I seek a motion and second to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or amendment?
I'd like to make a motion
Alderman Weezan, go ahead.
a motion to accept the substitute bill.
And can you explain the changes in that to a degree?
Yeah, thank you. So some of the changes that came forward were reduction in seating, the removal of the permanent and temporary structures, and then recently an addition of adding a diagram for the seating arrangement that would require the restaurants, the tenants to present their intended use and layout of the seating. To try to have the confinements needed for this to be acceptable use for their businesses.
And Alderman, you wish to speak?
You need a second.
Right.
That's I'll make a motion to second that.
Okay. Any discussion on the substitution? Alderman Eden.
So I just wanted to address the sound investigation that some people may have seen with the police department going around and doing readings. The purpose of that, as we heard at our last meeting, was that there were residents in the surrounding area that stated that they heard a lot of noise every day, all day. So I reached out to Captain Defoe, and with the random suggestion or random locations within those surrounding neighborhoods, picked addresses that were close or farther away from all the subdivisions that we were told had issues with sound or noise coming from that area. Chose 6 sites, asked for the police department to go to the mailbox of each of those sites with the exception of the condos. They stood at the front entrance of those condos. And at various times of the day, because let me remind you, we were told that this is all day, every day that they're open, choose various times when they had events that were posted on their calendar and when it was random times of the day. The purpose was was to have a third party do so. The police would be the people that would be responding to the call from neighbors with any type of a complaint, and just wanted to see where those readings stood. It was not communicated to anyone else outside of the police department, our city administrator, myself, and Fritz, since that is our ward. So no one knew that we were going to be performing it until it happened, so that we could try to keep this as objective as possible. So that's the reason behind that. I've asked our city clerk to attach that email and those findings to the minutes of this meeting. Thank you.
All in favor of adopting the substitution? Oh, yes, I didn't see that. Go ahead.
So this is a question for Ryan. What time do we turn the fountain off? The fountain that runs.
That would be Ms. Nixon.
It runs all night. It does not shut off. Good. Thank you.
Any other? This is just for the substitute. All All in favor of adopting the substitute for consideration, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Any further discussion on the substitute? Alderman Weezer.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a few questions that, depending on whether it was Ed or Ryan that will answer. The first one, I guess, would be to get a legal clarification about transferability as it relates to the prohibition in city code and condition included in the CUP.
So the code does contain a sentence about non-transferability as well on a CUP permit under here. So generally those kind of provisions are protective measures so that if the city approves a particular use, it's not automatically approved for a future business. An experience I had, not in an outside dining one, but there was a city where they approved a CUP for mechanics. It was a disaster. And then several years later, someone tried to open another mechanic saying we've already granted a CUP for use. So that kind of language is kind of a protective barrier so that a permit issued to one doesn't automatically renew. With the CUP conditions that are customarily used as well, we do actually have language as a standard condition that talks about a CUP. If there's a transfer of ownership, the CUP can transfer as long as the new owner accepts the responsibilities and burdens and obligations of that CUP. A lot of the CUPs we issue are things like permanent structures, like courthouses and things like that. So if you don't have it, so they can be assumed it can cause some issues. And obviously here we're dealing with a situation where the owners get the CUP, so if they sell, it could have an impact on those restaurants if there's a change of ownership. So they're saying that obviously you as the board have the power to adopt the CUP with those conditions, which would include the one that allows it to transfer upon acceptance of the new conditions. In part also because the CUP is adopted by ordinance, so it's an ordinance which, to the extent you also might find it's inconsistent with that code provision, it's a more recent ordinance, a more recent expression of the city's decision.
A couple other questions I had, Mr. Spencer. With regard to any live music, what is allowed today on the patio?
With the current conditional use permits?
With the current and the rest of
The two restaurants that have outdoor dining conditional use permits, Cleveland Cocktail and Wild Crush, are both permitted to have outdoor speakers, play music. Wild Crush has a specific volume as part of their CUP, and Wild Crush specifically, their CUP prohibits live music. The Cleveland Cocktail CUP is silent on it. The other businesses can have music as they see fit within the nuisance code, so they can have live music if they want it, or speakers.
Without any permit?
Correct.
And then what is for both this proposed CUP and the two existing CUPs that are already in place, how would any of those be enforced? I guess it's probably two different answers since they're different CUPs, but how's enforcement on that?
It would depend on the nature of the potential violation. If it's noise, the police would investigate that. From staff's perspective, there should be a warning issued. And then the second violation, there's two routes we could go. We could go to municipal court for a citation, or I, as the city planner, could bring forward a revocation of the CUP to this board, and you guys could debate that and potentially revoke the CUP.
After the warning, and then the second issue would come.
I think yes. I mean, the city always issues a warning, and because of the nature of this issue, we would issue a warning, and the second time would be either a citation to municipal court or summons to municipal court, or I would bring forward a revocation.
All right, thank you.
Alderman Murphy.
Thank you. Ryan, might want to stay right back up there. To the best of your knowledge, this is a little unique. There's existing incumbent CUPs for the two restaurants. developer wants to have another separate CUP to override that vote. That's.
They would replace them, yes.
Do we have any other situations like that in town and country where the developer or the owner of the full property does a CUP for this type of thing for outside dining versus the restaurants individually?
No.
I wanted to clarify too, the current ones have 48 seats for Cleaver Cocktail.
Correct.
And 28 for Wild Crush.
Correct.
If they chose to modify that, what is the process that they would have to do?
If they wanted to
If they wanted
modify
to-
individually,
Yeah.
they would just go through the conditional use permit process. So planning, zoning recommendation, 2 readings and a public hearing.
So, and then for 48 seats, let's just use Cleaver and Cocktail, shift to 50 seats on the new CUP. Not a major change really, but seats, is that equivalent to human beings out there? Is it, one per, or could you have people standing around as well?
I spoke with the code official about occupancy load of the patio, and based on the square footage, I wrote this down. If not, I can do my best to remember. Based on the patio area, which I believe is 4,990 square feet, standing room only, no tables and chairs. You can have 998 people, that's 1 per 5 square feet. Obviously, there's tables and chairs, therefore it's 1 per 15 square feet. So the total occupancy load, irrespective of outdoor dining, would be 332 persons, I believe.
And then, I don't know if this would be for you or maybe Captain Defoe, the sound analysis that was done, that was just based on the reality of who was there right now, as opposed to creating a synthetic situation where you have even 100 people there. Right?
Yes, we were given times and locations, and we went at those times or as close as we could to those times and took the measurements. So it was based on what was going on, who was there at the time.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Any further discussion from the board? At this point, I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
So just to have everyone clear on where we're at, we are on the bill as substituted, and this is for approval or denial. You'll vote yes or no. The motion is to approve. Alderman Weezahan?
Aye.
Alderman Eden?
Aye.
Alderman Hughes?
Nay.
Alderman Allen?
Aye.
Alderman Francisco?
Aye.
Alderman Murphy?
Nay.
Alderman Schwer?
Aye.
And Alderman Kinsella?
Nay.
The bill passes 5-3 and becomes ordinance number 4588.
Thank you very much. Next bill number 23-43, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection to the city clerk, read the bill for the second time.
Bill number 2343 is an ordinance accepting the bid and authorizing an agreement with Gamma Tree Experts for 2024 on-call tree trimming and removal services.
I seek a motion and second to approve. Any discussion or amendment? City clerk for roll call vote.
Alderman Francisco?
Aye.
Alderman Kinsella?
Aye.
Alderman Schwer?
Aye.
Alderman Murphy?
Aye.
Alderman Allen?
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan?
Aye.
Alderman Hughes?
Aye.
And Alderman Eden? The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4589.
Next bill number 23-44, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection to the city clerk, read the bill for the second time.
Bill number 2344 is an ordinance authorizing a professional services agreement with Oates Associates for pre-planning services related to the Conway Road and Mason Road sidewalk improvement projects.
Seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or amendment? I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Allen?
Aye.
Alderman Hughes?
Aye.
Alderman Eden?
Aye.
Alderman Murphy?
Aye.
Alderman Francisco?
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan?
Aye.
Alderman Kinsella. And Alderman Schwer.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4590.
Under new business, bill number 23-45, seek sponsors for the bill, perhaps Alderman Francisco Gonzalez.
Yes.
And without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 2345 is an ordinance approving a consolidation plat for 157 and 383 Land and Lantern Village in the city of Town and Country, and authorizing the adjusted plat to be recorded in the Office of the Recorder of Deeds of St. Louis County.
Thank you. Bill number 23-45 is continued to the meeting of Monday, October 23rd, 2023, for the second reading and consideration. Next, bill number 23-46, seeking sponsor for the bill, perhaps Alderman Hughes and Schwer.
I would also like to be a sponsor for that.
That's fine, thank you. And without objection, will the city clerk read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 2346 is an ordinance approving the preliminary site development plan for Starbucks located at 12151 Clayton Road.
Thank you. I will now invite the applicant to give an overview of the project. As this is the first reading, there will be no discussion or debate by the board at this time. Board members are encouraged to direct any questions or concerns to staff so that those can be addressed by the applicant at the next meeting.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. My name is Brandon Hart with Civil Engineering Design Consultants. Here tonight on behalf of Clayton Vales Property LLC, who's the current owner of the property. We are here tonight to present for the first reading the proposed Starbucks at Clayton Vales. We were at the September 20th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting where we presented a full presentation with the site development plan, the landscape plan, the lighting plan. We also presented building elevations at that point with 3D perspectives, as well as a detailed traffic analysis that was done by Crawford Bunty Braymeyer. At that meeting, and upon the presentation, they recommended approval to this board of the site plan. The site plan that you see in front of you is the site plan that was presented at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting with 3 changes. But I will walk through just briefly the project. I believe you've probably all seen the site plan already, but we have a 1,600 square foot single-story Starbucks building located there in yellow on the southern part of the property. We have a full access point on the far eastern side of the property on Clayton Road, 1 inbound and 2 outbound lanes. And then in the northwest portion of the property, there is a right turn exit only to go northbound on Ballas Road. The Starbucks building itself does not have any indoor seating. It does have a pickup window on the exterior, and it does have an outdoor patio located here on the east side of the property, as well as stacking for 19 cars on the property. The way the circulation would work on this property for vehicles and for customers to be coming in the Clayton Road exit, going into the parking lot or going into the drive-through lane, and then either coming back out for eastbound or westbound Clayton Road, or they can come through the drive-through and go back out onto northbound Alice, which is a convenient route if you're headed up to Highway 64. At the Planning and Zoning Commission, they did ask us to look at 3 different items. One was to create more of a landscape buffer between the pavement here and the cemetery to our north. On the original plan, we had the site-proof fence right up against the pavement. So we created a 4-foot buffer there and planted that with a mixture of evergreen deciduous vegetation along there to create a little bit of a breakup of a barrier from just the pavement right to a fence. So now there's a nice greenscape through there. The second was to further define the exit only onto Ballas Road as a northbound exit. We had that as a more of a wider entrance with a rolled curb to allow for trucks to move that better. Upon further study with their size tractor trailer that would be the delivery trucks for this, we were able to narrow that, increase the radiuses, clean up the ADA crossing there, as well as add additional pavement striping for do not enter, no left turn, as well as signage itself at that corner. And the third one came out of the ARB meeting, which was last week, which had some concern with the visibility of the service door back here on this corner. And so what we did with that was this is kind of a blown up version of it. We changed the alignment of the sidewalk so it comes in to the building. This is the service door. This is a wall, site wall hiding the service door. And then we filled this entire area with evergreens that will completely screen, even at that angle, into that service area. It's just a man door. It's not an overhead door or anything like that. So it was to clean up the exit only, narrow it, increase the radiuses, sign it appropriately to help with navigation of that northbound, northwest exit for northbound Dallas only. It was to add additional green space here from the fence, and then also to visually screen that service door. One other item that did come up at the ARB was to possibly look at flipping the building, basically rotating the building 180 degrees on the site plan. I was not at that meeting. Unfortunately, my understanding was that was going to just be reviewing the architectural of the building itself, but they did get in a little bit of site plan discussion at that meeting. But in our internal discussions with our design team, the comment was, can the building face the intersection and can we flip it? I think the main reason for that was that service door and how that functioned with the building, but I think with the evergreen screening in the solid walls that are now for the building, you're not gonna be able to see into that area at all. But our concern would be is if we were to flip it and the patio would be on the west side of the building, that patio then would be subject to the noise of the cars in the drive-through, the mufflers and the exhaust of the cars in the drive-through, the speaker, you'd be able to hear somebody ordering back and forth between the customer and inside, you'd be able to hear that conversation, as well as just the overall traffic at the intersection itself. So, to enjoy a cup of coffee, we felt like to have it a little more secluded and away from all that is a better design. So we're proposing to leave the orientation of the building the way we have it. We feel like it's a good design that works well. It has been approved by Starbucks. The Planning Commission recommended approval. We feel like it's a good sound plan for a lot of reasons, but those are the reasons why we didn't look at flipping this building. If you have any specific questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I can go in detail on any of the above mentioned items.
With the buffer zone, do you still have room for your supply trucks to get through?
Yes.
Is there someone from Starbucks here tonight?
Not tonight.
I'm the real estate representative for Starbucks. My name is Paul Fuse, here to answer any questions you may have on the Starbucks meeting.
Just the one I had was, I think it was Alan Conlos who talked about the one on Hampton and how it works, and it's a pretty busy street. Can you comment on that a little bit?
Yeah, so that store opened probably about 3 years ago now. Brandon also designed that store, and that's also a drive-through only. That store is a smaller footprint. It is approximately 1,100 square feet. So this is a larger building, but that store had actually about 13 to 14 car stack. This is going to be 19. So this is a much more improved design from what they have there.
Thank you. Alderman Even?
I just want to say thank you for taking the commission members of ARB's opinions into consideration when you are presenting this to us tonight. With regards to that service entrance, because that was something that they were fairly concerned about, how high is that shelter or shield, do you know, to be able to kind of protect that entrance?
I believe it's up to the roof line.
Okay. So seeing into that from the intersection shouldn't be, I think our concern at that point was, are people going to be stacking trash out there because they don't have time to make it all the way to the dumpster area, or, what's being seen as you're going in and out. So it's to the roof line, so you won't be able to see that from the intersection?
Correct. And Starbucks would never actually, for any length of time, stash trash out there. They keep a pretty clean environment in most of their stores. The door itself faces kind of northwest, so it's on the north wall. This wall, it's not on the wall face, the short wall face the intersection. It's on the north wall. So the screen wall goes along these two sides, north and east, and you have to come out of the door and then make a left to even come out on the walk. So what we did was we brought the sidewalk down so it doesn't come straight in, and then was able to heavily landscape that corner so you won't be able to see in that little area at all. previous plan had the sidewalk come straight into that area, so we offset it by 6 feet.
But the entrance opens to the intersection,
No,
the entrance to the service area,
It's right here and it opens this way.
right? But the entrance to walk into that area, service area, faces the intersection.
Right there.
that's correct.
And there's a wall here and here. And so now and this is all landscaped.
So you won't see the door.
You won't
because
see
it's-
the door, but you can see into that little enclave there.
Yeah, it's just like the building. Yeah. But you really can't because it's gonna have evergreens in front of it.
So there's a specific height that you're looking to landscape that with.
Correct.
Can you share that height from what you're gonna start with?
I didn't bring the actual landscape plan with me. We could make them 6, 8 feet. And arborvitae's, like in evergreen type trees, you can buy at 8 feet. So if the board wants to make a specific height requirement for the first time planting of that, we're happy with whatever you'd suggest. The intent is to adhere to what's being requested.
Sure. No, I appreciate that you looked into it, you took their, thoughts into consideration when you were presenting this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me ask a procedural question at this point. To our city clerk. Are we really not supposed to be asking questions at this point?
The board should not debate at this point,
Okay.
so if there are major questions you would like for them to bring back at the next meeting, I think that is fine within reason, but really we'll ask that you guys just direct any questions to Mr. Shelton or Mr. Spencer, and we can make sure that the applicant brings back the answers next time. And it'll be up for, open debate at the next one for sure.
Bill number 23-46 is continued the meeting on Monday, October 23rd, 2023, for the second reading and consideration. What was your name again, sir?
Paul Hughes.
Your grandparents were lovely people.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, resolution number R15-2023, a resolution approving a restaurant use for Starbucks at 12151 Clayton Road in the city of Town and Country. I seek a motion and second to continue to October 23rd.
So moved.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. The next architectural review for Starbucks to be located at 12151 Clayton Road. I seek a motion and second to continue to October 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next bill number 23-47. Sponsored by the board as a whole, without objection, the city clerk read the bill for the first time.
Bill number 2347 is an ordinance amending Title I, Chapter 110, Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the Municipal Code by the addition of Section 110.105 relating to procedures for issuance and enforcement of subpoenas in furtherance of Board of Aldermen proceedings.
Thank you. Bill number 23-47 is continued to the meeting on Monday, October 23rd, 2023, for the second reading and consideration. The warrant list is in the amount of $481,685.46. I seek a motion and second to approve. Any discussion or amendment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I do not have other business, but we'll open it to the board if anyone wishes to make any comment. Alderman Hughes.
Thank you, Mayor. I had the privilege of riding with Detective Sergeant Jacob during the neighborhood night out. And we visited 2 night out parties. And I heard a lot of really positive comments about the city and staff. And one of the residents said, go ahead and share our comments with the public. And I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of paraphrasing, but they indicated that interactions with city staff have been very, very professional. And the staff have adhered to establish meeting dates and times with lots of follow-up. And they provided the follow-up after all of the meetings, meaningful. They went on to explain how it was meaningful and informative. So I just wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that publicly.
Thank you.
Thank you. But please be cautious, I've already complimented city staff once. I'm okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's adamant about asking me to do that, so.
No, I'm very glad you did. I will now entertain a motion to close the meeting pursuant to section, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick question for you, Bob, likely. There is on the warrant list, there's water leak repair. There was pretty extensive repair, $4,000 on Longview Farm Park. Was there other damage associated with the water leak there?
That would be from Ms. Nixon.
I'll have to look at that and get back to you. I'm not sure what that charge is.
Okay, yeah, very good, thank you.
Yeah. I will now entertain a motion to close the meeting pursuant to section 610.021 and 3 revised statutes of the state of Missouri to discuss legal actions, personnel, and attorney-client privilege communications. Is there a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Schwer.
Aye.
Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Francisco.
Aye.
Alderman Even.
Aye.
Alderman Kinsella.
Aye.
Alderman Murphy.
Aye.
And Alderman Weezehan.
Aye.
It carries unanimously, and for the record, the board will not return to open meeting.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all for coming.
That's good.